Ty Brady here with Brady Insurance Marketing and the Ty Brady Way. As a successful entrepreneur myself, I'm passionate in helping other entrepreneurs do the same as they rise from rags to riches and get inspired each week on the stories they tell here at the Ty Brady Way. Welcome back to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. Today we have Corbin White on the show, and I've been trying to catch him to get on the show for a little while. You know, him and I actually sold insurance together for a little while, and it, wasn't his passion, which, I don't blame him, but he's really developed a passion for some things and really been a successful entrepreneur and done really good at it. So Corbin, tell the audience a little bit about you and what you do, and then we'll kind of dig into, why, some other questions. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's always funny when people ask me what I do because I don't really know how to explain it sometimes. I think it best comes down to I have a YouTube portfolio. I have like 3 or 4 YouTube channels that all generate income in different ways. On the back of one of those YouTube channels, I also have a digital marketing agency. So the YouTube channel brings in leads and then I fulfill on those services. And then I also have a handful of blogs. So to put it in like a sentence, I would say probably like an online marketer or a digital marketer would be a way to explain what I do.
Yeah, so let's kind of dissect that. So I think the one that you started was like DIY with Corbin, is that right?
Yeah. House to home DIY, home improvement stuff that I was working on. Yeah, so that started back during COVID times. Me and Zoe, my wife, just bought a new house. And I was, at the time I had like a desk job and was just tired of looking at the computer all day. So I just looked online to figure out how to do an accent wall. Went through and built it and then realized, hey, I should just like throw this up on social media. And one thing led to another. And I wasn't expecting it to go where it did, but that was like the first time I ever really posted on social media. Yeah.
What would you tell somebody if they wanted to be an online marketer? Or what do you tell your people that because you have fulfillment packages on the back end, they want to learn what you do or how you did it. Yeah. What would you tell people? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing that stops people from starting on social media is, at least for me, I was scared of what people were going to think. Like,
amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Yep.
I remember I drafted up the video. And if you look back at the first videos that I did on that home improvement channel, I did not show my face for probably the first 10 videos. And I named the channel not my name on purpose because I thought that I was never going to show my face. People were not going to know that it was my account. And so the first thing is just start. Second, if you're scared about what people are going to think, you're not alone. Everybody, no matter if you have millions of followers, millions of subscribers, I guarantee you the person that created those first couple of videos, they were just as scared as you are. So like, it's normal to have that hesitation. Me especially, if you look at my personal Instagram account, it's like I post once a year and it's for Zoe's birthday. So it's not, I was not used to posting on social media. So just start, realize that everybody's scared and just be yourself and create what you want to. Like nobody actually cares as much as you do. Like people will see it and people want to have you succeed.
Yeah, even if they do care, I tell the haters, they're just confused lovers, right? But they're following my stuff, they're liking my stuff, they're commenting on my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, keep bringing it on.
Yeah, and you've probably seen the pros far outweigh the cons. Like once you get the snowball moving, like it can be very, very helpful.
Recently, I did the dunk challenge. And I got a lot of people making fun of me, and I love it because they're like, you're supposed to go in all the way. You're not supposed to go in halfway. And then my daughter shows me up. My kid shows me up. My daughter went in for 12 minutes. 12 minutes. And
Dude,
people were
12
like,
minutes.
Cyrus went in for 12 minutes. And then Drexen had to pay her, my other boy, $10 a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And he never, and she's like, I just decided to get out. I could have stayed even longer. I thought it'd be dangerous. At 32 degrees with ice water and, But you know what? The next video I post, I'm going to be like, okay, I hear all of you. Yeah. I'm going all the way in and I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes.
You're going to have to go 13 minutes now to beat your daughter.
I don't know if I can go 13.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You can't never say never.
Yeah.
But that is so true when you talked about being afraid. I was afraid of putting stuff out there. And, now my social media lady and my wife, they convinced me that I need to do it. And it's amazing to me the impact and the comments that I get, and they're like, oh, I love your stuff, or that was amazing. one I posted about, if you have fear, just do it anyway, and if you have that fear to not, whether it doesn't be social media.
Yeah, it can be anything, really.
If you want to, if your lifetime dreams to own a restaurant owner, or to whatever it is, to go and sell cars, I don't care what it is. It could be in the insurance industry. Just do it.
Yeah.
And when you find that passion, you never work a day of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
So you started out with DIY with Corbin, right?
Yeah.
And then you evolved into some other teaching people how to do the same thing.
Yeah. So I started with the home improvement projects, and I really found a passion for that because before I really didn't know how to do those things. And I think that's part of my angle as well. And that's another thing. People think you need to be a professional to teach other people how to do it. Really, you just need to be a couple steps ahead, because sometimes it's better to learn from somebody who was recently in your shoes as opposed to someone who's a pro at those things. So I started doing the home improvement stuff, but I realized that I loved creating content. But doing home improvement things, it's like you have to build the thing, you have to shoot the thing, you have to edit it. And it takes a long time. It took a long time for me to like crank out videos. And so I started looking at other skills that I had. And at the time I was working at a company running digital ads. And that was kind of my professional career. And I thought, hey, there's, I think, an audience of people who want to learn how to do digital marketing as well. And those videos were actually a lot more easier to produce because I could just go onto my computer, do a screen share, and just like talk about how I set things up, how to get leads from Google Ads, how to get sales from TikTok, things like that. And that's why I started creating that content, because it was just like I could do those faster. And then that started to get some momentum as well. And then I had the home improvement channel and the marketing channel. And I haven't really looked back since.
I'm actually going to have you help me on the TikTok and Google stuff, because I I have recruiting and training agents, but then I have consumers facing, like how can my agents get leads for consumers to go out and help them with insurance products? So yeah, that's one of those things that, social media is very powerful. You can, the outreach, but those types of things. So what would you say, what was one of your biggest challenges?
Yeah, I think, the first was just getting started, but then also, as you probably know, social media is a pretty slow game. So like if you look at the earnings from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, especially in year 3, that's when things like really took off. So a lot of everybody can do things their own way. How I did it is I still had my full-time job, and then on nights and weekends, I was like creating the content. So there's like a little bit going on there. So that was a challenge, right? Because you don't see immediate results. That was like a big challenge. The next challenge was like navigating like brand deals. Like when brand deals did start to come in, that was a lot more work than I thought it would be, because there's a lot of email back and forth, a lot of communication.
They're interviewing you.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into that. And so that was a big challenge. And then now one of the biggest challenges is just staying on top of content. Right before we started shooting, you'd mentioned that you're on top of your content like 2 months. And I got envious, right? Because it's like, I feel like I am constantly every week, like, okay, what am I going to shoot? What am I going to plan? What am I going to do? And especially now, because I have 3 channels that are kind of different topics, it becomes a lot. So that has become a challenge. And then finding good people to help out in that. So lots of challenges. No, I don't want to make it's not all rainbows and roses, right? When you're doing content, for sure. Well,
for me, it's like my time is very limited. Yeah. And so I'm like, I've got to create content in one day. And people are like, Ty, you're always doing this or always doing that. I'm like, listen, you got to understand that reel or content I may have done that 2 months ago, and it was all done in one day, but it's 3 different posts. Yeah. And they think I'm doing it every day. Yeah. They're like, are you ever working? I'm like, I work every day. But it's amazing what the power that you can do with that content. But it's like, I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, what do I want to communicate? Because I have different channels. Yeah. I have the Brady Insurance Marketing channel on Facebook, which is consumer facing. So I want consumers to see that page and then help drive traffic to generate leads. Yeah. Then I have the Ty Brady Way, which is obviously the podcast show here. And it's evolved. In fact, I'm going to change the intro on this year, where this has come to interviewing other successful entrepreneurs and people of like-minded on how their story is. So people hear your story and like, hey, I may not want to get into social media, but there were some tips and tricks I learned from Corbin, and I need to bring that into that. Yeah. And the last one is my personal page. Mm-hmm. And my personal page probably gets the most attention because I post about my kids, and people are like, why do you post about your kids? I'm like, you know what? If they want to follow, they want to see, my kids don't mind it. My wife doesn't mind it. They love it. People love seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. A couple of things that you said that really resonate with me is, one, I love that. I think another thing that people get caught up on is they think that they need to have everything perfect from the beginning. And you even mentioned it, like, I think it's you start to create content and you see what your audience likes, and then you pivot from there. And that's okay. Like people sometimes don't think that's okay. And then also another thing that I've learned is people love vulnerability. They love, and that's probably why like your personal, like it's hard, especially for me, because on the internet, you want to act like you don't have any problems, or you don't want to show your true character, but it's not like you need to go on there and just like start crying or anything, but like people love to hear about the problems that you're having and how you are overcoming those problems. That's another thing that I've learned is like a golden key, because people want to be able to relate to you, and that's one of the best ways. So it makes sense that people like that. They like to see the behind the scenes of your family and stuff like that.
Some of the most popular posts I think that I get is just me quoting something of the day, or giving a little tip or trick that's not a big reel. And they're like, oh, that's what I needed to hear today. Yeah. Or I tell a story about what my daughter says, hey, Dad, I'm getting fat. And I'm like, are you kidding me? She's 7 years old. And I'm like, it's brutal on these kids. Yeah. And I'm like, honey, you are beautiful. You are a queen. I mean, do not worry about that. Just go and have fun. But it's ugh. Yeah. As a father, you're just like, ooh. Yeah, that's that. Not looking forward to the. Luckily, my kids are still young, but yeah. Oh, it is. Wow, it'll rock you to your core, man. I'll tell you about. Any other last thoughts you'd like to share with the audience? Maybe some insight on. I do like it. You just got to start somewhere. I realized. Yeah, you have a 4-year degree, right? Yeah. So you have a 4-year degree. You did it part-time. I mean, I think like me, I didn't think it was going to get this big. When I started my insurance agent, I didn't think it was going to get this big. And at some point, I feel like I have to, and not that I have to, I want to help more people. Yeah. And it's like, how can I help people live a financial free life? How can I help people have money to support their family, do things for hobbies, and give back to the community? Mm-hmm. It's a whole, circle of things that are happening, and it's so rewarding. Anything that you'd like to insight on that? Yeah, I mean, along that same vein, I mean, social media can be rewarding the same way. I mean, the thing that I loved about insurance at the beginning and why I loved selling insurance was the residuals, right? Yeah. You can compound the work that you've done. Mm-hmm. Similar in social media, I like to look at it almost like digital real estate, right? Because if you go onto YouTube and you search for something, say how to run TikTok ads, and you're ranking, 1 through 5 in one of those, that's like a digital real estate that you own. It's there forever. Yeah. And it could be like, it could get outranked, but like it could be there for a long time. And that has the opportunity to make you, to duplicate yourself and to make you little money machines, right? Like, so every video that I create, I like to look at it like a little piece of digital real estate that I'm creating and duplicating a part of myself. And I think there's something really powerful about that. And same with insurance, where you can go through and just compound and get those residuals coming through. I think finding any kind of career path that has that opportunity is very beneficial. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's for me, I may be the face, but it's not just me. I've got a great team behind me that helps me do all this stuff, because I couldn't do it. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't sit down, and I've got to do other stuff, but I have a great team behind me. They're wonderful at what they do, and we keep changing and massaging where we're at. But what a journey it's been. Yeah. So the last question is, where do you see this or yourself in the next 5-10 years? Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, something that I've been thinking about quite a bit. Because right now I've purposely took the route of quote unquote solopreneur, where I don't want to have employees. I just have contractors that help out with everything. Mostly because I'm the same way. Yeah. Everyone that hire, they're 1099. Yeah. They're contract employees. Yeah. Less people, the better, just so I can move fast and kind of run that way. So in 5 to 10 years, I have my revenue goals that I want to go through and hit inside the business, of course. And possibly I want to build up a channel that I can actually turn around and sell. So that means that— Is that a real thing? Yeah, it's a very real thing. Yeah. So I've tried a couple now where basically you go through and you hire— You're not the face of the channel. There's things called YouTube faceless channels. Okay. Where you basically hire a script writer, a voiceover artist, and then a video editor. And it's all like, you're not actually showing your face. So that's why you can sell the asset, because you have this YouTube channel that is generating, leads or whatever it may be, or revenue from YouTube ads that isn't attached to you, and you can go through and sell. So one of the goals that I have is to build something like that I can turn around and sell. Another thing is to just grow. They're buying your following, right? They're buying your following, but not only that, with a lot of these channels, if you're doing them right, they're spitting out like tens of thousands of dollars in cash a month. Okay. And
almost on autopilot, because all you need to do is come up with the topics. Then from there, you send those topics to your scriptwriter. The scriptwriter writes it out. He or she sends it to the video editor. And then the video editor goes through and puts together the clips based on the script. And then you send it to the voiceover artist, and then they go through and have the voice all done. So everything's outsourced, and you literally are not a part of that channel. So I could come to you and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel that is making, $10,000 a month from YouTube AdSense. And then you can get, the multiples will depend on what the channel is, but yeah.
It's similar to insurance.
Yeah.
Like I think I get 2 or 3 people call me a year wanting to say, hey, Ty, they want to buy the residual. They want, I built those minor policies, yours is followers, and they want to buy that. And then, I don't have any desire to do that at this point, maybe 20 years from now, but the sky's the limit, man.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I want to do is build something that is sellable, because right now I don't think the assets that I have right now aren't necessarily sellable because they are so intertwined with me. Like I'm the face of the business, I'm the face of those things. And so I think I have a pretty strong desire to build something. And I don't know if it's going to be a YouTube channel. I don't know if it's going to be another business, but build something where I can detach myself and sell it. I don't even really care how much it's for. I just want the satisfaction of saying I built this and sold it,
I had a guy that was on the show a little while ago, and he's an attorney. Mm-hmm. And he helps people set up businesses, and he decided to set up a business, and it was phenomenal to hear. He's like, no, I want to build a supplement brand, a black label brand for supplements. And then he says, I want to be able to turn around and sell it as well. Yeah. And he's like, what I did is reach out to successful entrepreneurs on social media platforms, say, hey, I got this idea. Are you willing to spin this on your followers? Yeah. And then, get subscribers and so on. And some of the numbers he said, I'm like, you're kidding me. Yeah. I was like mind blowing. Right. And he's like, I could still be an attorney and I'll never give that up. But he's like, I want to be able to go, to Lake Powell. I want to be able to go to, I want that freedom and just knowing that I built that. And if he wants to sell it, he can sell it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Corbin, thanks so much for being on the show today. I mean, lots of great content. It's amazing. I have a good time doing it. Any last thoughts before I close this thing out?
No, thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
As always, thanks for listening to the Ty Brady Way, and share, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ty Brady Way. As always, share, like, and subscribe. Go to Instagram at ty.r.brady. And as always, love hearing from you. And let me know what you want to learn on the show or what you'd like me to bring up on the show. Thanks.
You can find the Ty Brady Way on Instagram as well as Facebook. To stay connected with giveaways and Ty himself, go ahead and follow at ty.r.brady on Instagram as well as Facebook. This podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Whitney Face Media Marketing. The theme music is an excerpt from Hot Chicken of the Woods by Isaac Joel.